Hello my friends, it's Gabriel with the Last Huntsman Outdoors channel here, and we're doing the medium size survival knife showdown here. I have my top 10 pick here. This is part 2 of the chopping test. Once again, I'm going to be breaking this up into several parts so you guys can go through the playlist and just watch the whole playlist, so you guys aren't getting like an hour-long video and you could just pick which part you want to watch at the time. And one caveat, I'm going to say this through every video, I think every knife here is a good knife. They're just all going to perform differently on different tasks. But this part is part 2 of the chopping test. Alright, so the first test I'm going to do with a medium-sized survival knife showdown here is I'm just going to do some chopping tests. Now I know these are medium-sized knives, 5.5 to 7.5 inch blades, so they're not going to be like the most dedicated chopper. However, that's kind of the point of having a medium-sized survival knife, is that it can kind of do a little bit of everything. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to just kind of chop into the stump here, see how well it kind of sinks in, and then I'm going to find some sticks and other things, and we're going to be just doing some chopping. Starting off with the cold steel SRK. Okay, sinks in about up to the flat of the grind there. Sinks in pretty good. Now this is probably one of the lightest and smallest knives of this batch. However, it actually delivers a pretty decent punch, really, for what it is. All right, that's the cold steel SRK. Reef knives, F6. We're going to try this out. Okay. Similar results as the SRK, exception for it has just a little bit more authority to it. All right, just gonna go down the list here. The SE6. Actually has some pretty decent bite to it. SE6. All right, TRC Apocalypse. Went in. So this blade is pretty hefty, really. It's a 1/4 inch thick. Yeah, that bit in pretty good. TRC Apocalypse. All right. Phobos Tier 1 BC. See what it can do. Oh, wow. For as small as it is, it's only like a 5.5 inch blade. It sank almost all the way in. That's actually pretty surprising. And it's only 3/16 thick of MagnaCut. And I'm trying to pick different spots so I'm not just chopping into the same spot over and over and over again. I may even twist this log around here. All right. Ooh. That's Phobos Tier 1 BC. All right. Line Steel T6. It's not sinking in quite as good, but it does have some authority to it. That's sinking decently, yeah. Line steel T6. All right. The Becker BK7. That one I kind of glanced a little bit. I think thus far, the BK7 has about the most authority to it. And that's kind of because it's the longest blade of this batch, actually the second longest, and just the handle ergonomics. That's the Becker BK7. All right, going to the Papa Bear knives. Bush Bear. Now this is the thinnest of them 80 CRV2 steel. 5/32 though. Papa Bear knives, Bush Bear. All right, Tops Silent Hero. Let's give it a good old try here. Oh yeah, that sinking pretty good. I just took a big chunk out. All right, Top Silent Hero. And we'll finish off with the Work Tough Gear Mountain Lion. That one hit pretty hard. It just didn't sink in. Okay, that sank in pretty good. This one definitely, this is the thickest of, well actually it and the TRC Apocalypse are both 1/4 inch thick. This one hits with a lot of authority. I think it and the Becker BK7 are close on that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I can pick up the log with that. Ugh. So on this part of the chopping test, we're just going to wrap it up, but that's the Work Tough Gear Mountain Lion. All right, so this is part 2 of the chopping test. Starting off with the Cold Steel SRK. Just going to try to chop through this stick here. Cold Steel SRK is the lightest knife here probably. If I was going to take a wild guess. So it's going to probably be a little lacking on chopping. However, it does the job. I'm going to probably give it, I think just because of how narrow the blade is, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 on chopping. All right, so same test as the Cold Steel SRK. Here I have the SE6. Definitely has a lot more authority than the SRK did. Just barely hanging on by a little bit of bark. There we go. I think I'm going to give the SE6 out of 10. I think I'm going to give it a solid 7. All right, next on the list, I have the TRC Apocalypse. Now this is one of the thicker of the knives here. That doesn't always mean it'll do better. The wood I'm cutting into, I think, is a elm. It's actually hitting with some decent force. And the handles having great indexing, yeah. I think I'm going to give that a solid 7. It felt about the same as the SE6. All right, next I got on the list here, the Reef Knives F6. Let's see what we can do here. That's kind of a hard one to place because I felt the blade wanting to do work, but the handles were pretty slick. I'm probably going to give it a solid 6. All right, next on the list I have the Papa Bear Knives Bush Bear. Now this knife it's right under a 6-inch blade. It's about the same size as the Cold Steel SRK, just a little bit broader blade. We're going to see what it can do here though. It is the thinnest knife here. It's only 5/32. However, it does have great edge geometry. And it's taking decent little chunks out. Oh, got stuck in there. Ooh. It actually performed better than what I thought it would, especially for its size and its thinness here. I'm going to give that a solid 7. All right, next on the list, I have the Phobos Knives Tier 1 BC. This one is actually a little smaller blade wise. Well, if you count the choil, it's about the same size as the SRK. Does have that high saber grind though. Which actually helps it perform better for its size. I'm going to give it a solid 6. I have the Lion Steel T6. I'm going to try to do the same thing here. Let's try to go not on the knot there. Oh. That Lion Steel T6 has a lot of bite to it. Wow. I think that one's done the best thus far on this list, quite frankly. I think I'm going to give that a solid, I think I'm going to give it an 8. All right, next on the list is the Becker BK7. Oh yeah. Just popped right through that. Hardwood stick, Becker BK7, do not care. I think I'm going to have to give that a 9. Yeah, thus far the Becker BK7 is in the lead on the chopping. All right. getting down to the last couple here. I have the Tops Silent Hero. This knife's been with me for quite some time. We're gonna see how it does on this chopping test here. Doing pretty decent, really. Wow. I think it's fair to say that for its size, I'm actually very surprised. I think it out-chopped even the TRC Apocalypse. It just has better edge geometry, in my very strong opinion. I'm going to give the Top Silent Hero an 8 out of 10 on chopping. All right, final one on the list here. The Work Tough Gear Mountain Lion. This is a hunky chunky knife. We're gonna give it a go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think it was pretty close between it and the Becker BK7. However, I do think the Work Tough Gear Mountain Lion, as far as chopping goes, edged it out just a little bit, pun intended. So I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 on chopping for the medium size survival knife Showdown. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap this up. I think all these knives did pretty good. You know, some of them are a significant size difference, so that's obviously going to make some difference on how they chop and such. However, you know, some of them that were a little bit bigger on the size scale didn't perform as good as I thought they would either. So, let me know what you guys think on my chopping test. You know, I know it's not 100% mathematic and scientific and blah, 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 and you're going to get some people on the comment section and that's going to be like, well, actually, I don't really care, okay? I'm out here having fun. I'm giving my opinion. If you don't like it, tell me what you think in the comment section. Try to be nice about it. But this is part 2 of the chopping test concluded. I'm going to score each one of these and move on to the next test. Be prepared both physically and spiritually. God bless and carry on.